Marcello, hi. Welcome to the Kingdom virtually. Sorry you can't be with us.
Peter, that's an amazing opportunity to be here. And I'm the least of your friends that got the Omicron,
Yes.
but I didn't have any symptom. Just cancel my trip.
Chip,
But
yeah.
I'm trying to be here
Well,
closer as I can to talk to you.
exactly. Well, the most important thing is that you're safe and healthy. So it's good to see. So, Marcello, I mean, the theme is green steel and decarbonisation. But I think before we jump into the steel industry, I think it's important to, again, the context, it's all very well to decarbonise steel, but it's important to decarbonise the mining industry first. So I'm interested in your perspective on the imperative to decarbonise the mining industry entirely, and then also maybe talk to us a little bit about what you're doing at Vale to make that happen.
Yeah, very well. That's the first action. So we have a lot of initiatives to work on the scope one and scope three. Talk about Vale. We are committed to reduce the emissions by 2030 and one third. In scope one, definitely we need to work to reduce our exposure to diesel consumption. So bringing the batteries to our operations, bringing the electricity to our operations, we can say that we are addressing part of our scope one challenges. We have a Mach curve that we can address the priority of our actions. We have an investment from $4 to $6 billion already announced. We have different maturity to these initiatives. Another point for scope one is related to our facilities of pelletizing. So we're bringing also the biofuel as part of the initiative. So all of this together, we are ready to reduce our scope one. And also in scope two, we have a commitment to have in Brazil the green energy, full green energy in 2025, and by 2030 globally. That's our goal. So all this together, we can learn and also bring other initiatives to our scope three initiatives.
That's very aggressive, Marcelo, and it's good to see that you have a solid roadmap. And you'll be interested that even though you haven't been here, that at the summit and the forum here the last 2 days, a lot of discussion about not only decarbonising the industry, but being a catalyst to decarbonise, the electrical grid and key industries like cement, steel, and so on. So I think that's pivots nicely into this concept of green steel. And I know you guys are doing some really interesting things to help decarbonise the steel industry, which represents something around, depending on where you read, 6 to 8% of global emissions. And we know this is not an easy industry to decarbonise. So can you talk to us a little bit about what that looks like and what you're doing within the steel industry specifically?
Yeah, Peter, that's I think the first time in the world that we need to work together. The supply chain is we have only the challenge is only one. So we never saw in this world the steel making and the mining industry working together. So our scope three is 94% of our emissions. So if you want to help the world, we need to work together with our clients.
Yeah.
You're right that there's a huge challenge. We have some numbers coming from $1 to $2 trillion to solve the problem in the steel industry. But we also have goals for scope three. By 2035, we have a goal to reduce 15% of scope three emissions. What kind of solutions can we bring to this challenge? So we are splitting this goal or these actions in two parts. To reach this 15%, 25% will come from our own initiatives, on products, and the remaining 75 we come bringing solutions together to the steel industry. In our own initiatives, we have a set of products that we can bring from the mining industry to reduce the consumption. Just an example, just to figure out, there's a common sense. The decarbonization path will come from a reduction in the blast furnace and go into direct reduction, and in the first time bringing the natural gas for that, and later to the hydrogen as part of the energy for the direct reduction route. So a common sense that we will need high quality ores for any kind of road to reduce the emissions in the steel industry. So the first action coming from Vale is to improve the production of high quality ores. We have the best iron ore in the world, is Carajás, and we are improving our capacity from 200 to 110, going to 240 million tons, and have projects to go to 260 million tons. So improve the Carajás finds, and the high quality ores is one part of our missions. Yeah. The other part, we have a lot of other initiatives like the green briquette. Green briquette is a kind of pellet that is used in the dry in the direct reduction routes, and also the blast furnaces. So we are bringing a new product that is a half of the capex intensity and also the half of the OPEX, and we can use in the first decade to optimize the use of the blast furnace. We can reduce more than 10% the emissions, adding more agglomerated products or the direct charge coming from pellets, in this case the green briquette. I'm not talking about projects, Peter. I'm talking about products that are coming online. So we already have with the briquettes streamline, we have 3 plants under construction, and we have plans to have more 5 plants, and also in this region we have a pellet plant, pelletizing plant in Oman, and we have a plan now to have a briquette plant. And the beauty of this technology that we can bring and co-locate this agglomeration process close to our clients. So we have this green briquette. We also have the dry concentration that we can use as a cleaner to upgrade the pellet feed. Pellet feed, that's the goal of the steel industry. So we need pellet feed and the high quality pellet feed to feed this direct reduction route. So that's the role of Vale. We're not only working with our clients and designing solutions, signing MOUs, that's what we see coming also with our competitors, but we are in front coming with products that can solve the problem in the first decade and support this transition with the coming of the increase of the production with direct reduction.
Yeah, no, that's very comprehensive, Marcello. And I think noting you said, the collaboration of mining industry and steel industry, is a first. And I remember the CEO of Equinor, the Norwegian oil company, when he was speaking at the Energy Forward conference in Florence in 2020, he said that the enormity of the energy transition challenges beyond any one company and any one industry, and he kind of lamented about collaboration being, we're not that good at it, and I thought they actually are good at it. So I'm interested, I make that statement only to ask you, how were you received by the steel companies? Were they open? How's the collaboration going? How it was received? Because I'm sure there's some bumps in there somewhere. So.
That is our industry is we have cycles of growth and cycles of relationship also, right?
Yeah.
It's been really good. So we just announced in the end of last year that we engaged with 40% of our scope 3, that are our clients. In all of them, we have all these initiatives, to just give it as an example, in a pipeline of projects, and also working together to find what is the best pattern, what is the best solution that fits to every plant that we have. So that's what we have. We see that we are engaging, and there's no solution without this. There's no solution without this. I'm talking about not only commitment in terms of capital, that we need to bring more people to this conversation, not only the clients, but also the governments, also the banks. But we are talking about technology, and in this case, we need to be really open to find and fine-tune what is the best supply or the best solution for all of this challenge.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. I think, collaboration has been mentioned often over the last 2 days, and I think I call it kind of hyper collaboration, because I think the needs of the industry and the scope 3 area is that urgent. So we need to really move quickly. One last comment, and then I'd like to kind of move to the S and ESG, if we like. But I kind of like the way, and I think you described it, but I like the way you characterize it in these 3 phases, which I think is worthwhile mentioning, is phase 1 being the pathway definition, phase 2 decarbonization run, and then phase 3 mainstream adoption. And I know you described the technologies before in each of those phases, but I'm just interested because it's a nice way to simplify and easy to understand. How did you come up with that? Was that in collaboration with the steel industry, or so? I'm just interested in how that came about.
Yeah, we see this, as a pathway, just a kind of roadmap, and collaboration is part of that. And definitely, this first phase, we need to optimize what we have. It's impossible to solve a problem in 1 year or even 5 years. So we need to optimize what we have, the assets that we have. 76% of the steel production in the world is coming from blast furnaces. So we need to phase out this and improve in the future. What we call the decarbonization run is when all of these technologies, we have this common sense of blast furnace, direct reduction with gas, and after that with hydrogen. But we don't have hydrogen today as something that is feasible. But we strongly believe that we are going to come and bring this technology and also the source of energy that will supply this hydrogen facilities will be ready in 30 years, in 20 to 30 years. So we need to focus on the optimization and also bring this stretch of the technologies that are coming together with the client. So there's no silver bullet to solve the problem. There will be a portfolio of solutions. In one asset or in one region, like the Middle East, there is a source of power, a source of energy that is naturally competitive in this first phase of the world. So we have the natural gas in the Middle East. So in this region, we're going to improve probably the first decade. They will supply in the second decade. They will supply the world to the first transition. So in every place, we need to understand what is the solution. There will be a lot of solutions, but all the trend that we see is this. But in the specifics, when we bring a solution to one plant or to other region, we need to have the whole picture to understand what will be the investment that we need to do, what will be the solution, the technology that we're going to use in that phase. But in the end of the game, that's the pathway we believe.
Yeah, and I think it's important there, this whole notion of there's no silver bullet. You have to take a portfolio approach and work on all fronts to see what comes out. So One of the things, Marcello, that's been really talked about, not only yesterday and today, but at the Ministers' Roundtable is, we talk a lot about the environment, but I was very pleased that, a lot of talk about the S. And in fact, Mark Bristow, who's the CEO of Barrick Gold, yesterday in his address said, we need to make it a big S. So I think often the S is very tiny, but I think it's rising in significance. And I know Vale is doing some very bold initiatives to make that S big. So it'd be great if you could share with the group here some of those initiatives that you're doing.
You're totally right. We've been discussing inside Vale. We made a great, evolution, bringing the environment to the table, to our discussions 2 years ago, announcing the Scope 1, Scope 3, Scope 2 goals. At the end of last year, we are really bothered about that we need to bring more bold solutions and bold announcements about the S. The social is very important to sustainability for our operations in terms of communities, but also to understand the role of the mining industry. It's important to understand that the mining industry will bring not only the solution for the green world, but also wealth for the people. So we just announced that our ambitions for the social, we have a goal to lift 500,000 people from extreme poverty. That will be a challenge that we need to bring clients, we need to bring governments to solve it, but that's a goal that is already in place. We're going to solve this specific problem. We also have an agenda to improve the quality of the indigenous people. We have indigenous people in Brazil, we have in Canada, and there's a roadmap to improve the quality, bringing the United Nations initiatives to these people, and that's another front. And what we call a resilient community. Yeah. So we also have the necessity to stabilize and to bring wealth in a sustainable way, bringing the concept of shared value, not only bring the social responsibility to the solution, but how can we use our engine of generating wealth to use the same engine to generate wealth to the community. Yeah. This is not how can I say something that is without action. We need to understand the right indicator, the right KPI, the social KPI, and address that. Yeah. So this is part of our what we call this capitalism responsible, but we need to be really assertive to solve these kind of problems. Yeah, no, Marcello, I think that's approach that we believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic. You got measurable goals. I think the key phrase you said in there for me, which resonated strongly because of my non-profit, the Development Partner Institute, is shared value. And I think one of the key principles of the Development Partner Framework that was co-created with Indigenous people is the notion of shared purpose, shared value that you create together. Because otherwise, you can be misaligned in ways. So, Marcello, in the last 2 minutes, actually, asking for two things. One is, and obviously this is a big renewable energy hydrogen hub, is in the context of Saudi Arabia, the kingdom, and the surrounding region, what's Vale's role here, and what's the last takeaway you would like to give to the audience?
Well, I'm really excited about the possibilities that we have in the region in Saudi Arabia. I was really, I'm sad not to be with you because I'm really be more engaged to the region. We have a lot of friends, a lot of clients, but what we think that in this roadmap, the pathway that I mentioned, that we need to improve the direct reduction. In the beginning, we need the natural gas, and after that, the rolling to the hydrogen as a source of energy. Middle East is in the center of this solution. So Vales can join ventures in the region, bringing the solutions of high quality ores, the briquette and the pellets to feed these kind of solutions. And we see a possibility to have hubs for this HBI products or these high quality ores using a better source of energy to supply the world, supply China, supply Europe in this first phase and second phase of transition. And later, we'll see the region producing hydrogen using source of energy like solar or wind, and can keep supplying this high quality steel or high quality product that will supply the direct reduction, even the other routes that we have in all of the world. So we are really excited that we can have great solutions, and we're going to work together with our clients to design this new world that is really in our front. I'm not talking about 10 years, I'm talking about 2 years.
Yeah. Marcello, thank you very much. I'm on Reading, but I'd like to give you one opportunity, one last thing, one last thought you'd like everyone to take away. So, in 20 seconds.
Happy to be here. Let's work together. As you mentioned, Peter, the name of the world is work together. So that's the name of the game. Yeah. We need to be committed to this new challenge, and Vale is the supplier of choice of this new green world.
Marcello, thank you. Work together. I think that's a great notion on which to end. So please join me in thanking Marcello for joining us here virtually.